everybody. I'm going to proceed as if I'm confident that I'm not muted, and we'll just see how it goes. Um, Welcome back to Invisible Sun. We had a great and well-deserved break last week, but I think we're all definitely ready to hop right back into it. Um, Before we do get going, I'm going to introduce this session by saying that we're going to be doing something a little different tonight. What we'll be doing tonight are a series of different vignettes that occur probably over the course of in-game 2 weeks or so. These are just going to be a variety of different scenes of our characters accomplishing goals across the city on their own time. This will basically be like a sort of peek at to what the development mode for Invisible Sun is like, all of the side scenes and things that occur between sessions. This will be kind of a collective of those all at the same time. But first, before we hop on to any specific side scenes that our characters would like to get to, we will be returning to Alana's house after a visit to the Infinite Library of Mentors. And I think y'all can pick right up, honestly.
So I imagine we're all still, and this is out of character, I'm sorry, just,
It's okay.
there was a lot of,
Reset the scene.
we're all still panicked a little bit from just barely escaping the library.
I wasn't panicked.
Who's panicked?
I was annoyed.
I was fine.
I was able to get us all out fairly easily.
Yeah.
But I guess that wasn't the panic.
You came in, we're like,
I
what
say
clutch
as
there,
we,
Alana?
I say as we all the camera pans to Baby Shade.
What the
Language.
frick? I don't fucking know how to do this.
Not like that.
Let's all get inside. I'll put on a pot of tea for everybody and we can decompress.
Oh my god. I need some aftercare.
I think I have something that can be considered aftercare.
I need some whiskey.
I
Yeah, I
think
can help
have
with that.
I think I have a half full bottle under the sink.
Why is it
Oh,
only
we'll
half
use
full?
that first.
What was that?
It's only half full. Why is it under the sink? Alana, I need to teach you how to keep your liquor.
I don't know why it's under the sink. You know I
Yeah.
don't drink.
Can we have this conversation not now?
Anyway, make yourselves at home. There's a as soon as you walk in, there is to your right, a sitting living room area, light blue walls, a couch, one armchair, and a coffee table. And to the left, there is a kitchen with light yellow walls, a small table, and just a small kitchenette. And as soon as we're all in, I'll start making a pot of tea for everybody. And as promised, underneath the sink, I grab a half full bottle of whiskey. I don't know how old this is. I think it's been under there since... Okay. Here you go, Soraya. And Shade. And...
Oh, I definitely took it before you, sweetie.
You're a bitch.
I am. We know this. But I will hand it to you after. Because I'm nice. I'm a nice bitch.
Yeah, whatever. I mess up your hair.
No. I'm not going to sit down, but I am awkwardly staring at this baby version of Shade.
I kneel in front of Baby Shade and rummage through my pocket and hand her a little thing of bubbles.
Where did you get that?
It's a stress reliever. I haven't had to use it recently. Sweetie.
Yeah?
The adults are going to talk a bit. Do you want to go play with these? I also have a kitty. He likes being scratched.
Ooh, a cat?
Yeah, just don't put your finger in any of his mouths, okay? He doesn't like that.
Oh my god, this is so
Okay.
weird.
He's probably in the living room. His name's Percival.
Did you say...
What was
Don't
that,
So,
Soraya?
Nope. Don't care. Not gonna ask. Don't want the answer.
You don't want to know?
Baby
really
Shade
don't.
bounds over to the cat. She has immediately begun calling Percy, and she is bothering it. Honestly, yeah, she's disturbing it, but that's how it goes.
Is that even a real child?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Your web captioner on?
Yes. It was working earlier. It's fine. I accidentally closed the link. I'm
Anyway.
a doofus.
Don't talk about my friend like that.
I said doofus.
Alana,
Does anyone? Yes.
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if anyone else wanted tea.
That would be lovely.
Of course. And I'll finish getting that ready.
I'll take it at the end table, and I'll walk to the single chair and just huck my suitcase down on the floor and sit down and cross my legs and just sit placidly and stare at everyone. Through everyone.
Through every I was gonna correct.
So, as soon as the water's boiling and the tea's ready, I'll hand Lucas a cup, a mug, and if anyone else wants any, water should still be hot. Or whiskey.
I'll take some tea actually. I feel
Okay.
like that would be good for me.
Thank you.
Do we want to have this conversation around? And I look at Baby Shade.
She's probably not even a person.
She's sufficiently distracted.
I feel
You're muted.
Muted, yep. I would say that, yeah, she definitely seems sufficiently occupied between Percival and the bubbles. She has discovered that Percival does like to attack these bubbles, which for everybody around, you would notice that these bubbles are cube-shaped. She's blowing out of this circular bubble wand, and these cubes are just coming right the fuck out.
God.
And Percival loves these. He's batting at them. Still sounds like a, what was it?
freight
Truck full of
trains
nails.
slamming
Yeah.
into a
That'll keep
Yeah,
her.
a truck full of nails got hit by a train made of chalkboards.
Yeah.
That,
That was it.
that should keep her occupied.
Yeah. So, something that's been bothering me since the library. Shade, what did you mean when you said your dreams were taken from you?
I meant exactly what I said. Somebody broke into the dungeon in the middle of the night. They bore a hole in my head and took my dreams.
A hole? Like the murders.
Exactly like the murders. I look at my sister. Luckily, there was a goetic in the family.
We found a temporary fix. I will glance to Baby Shade. Whoever that is, I need her to make it a little less temporary.
What did you make temporary?
Come on, Alana. Put the pieces together.
obviously thwarting death.
For a time. I am on borrowed time.
How much?
Not long.
Where are you standing or sitting, by the way?
I am
Shade.
laying upside down on the couch. Head where my feet are supposed to go, feet where my hands are supposed to go.
I sit down next to you. And if you'll let me, I'll take your hands. What can I do to help?
I don't think there's anything to be done. I just want to kill this motherfucker.
And I'll look to Soraya. Soraya, what can I do to help?
There's a potential solution,
Pipe dream.
a ritual.
The monograph?
and- Exactly. I don't know exactly how likely it is, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm hopeful that I can get some more information. Figure out what to do with her. I'll gesture, like kind of nod my head towards baby Shade.
Also, can we talk about how fucked up it is that it looks like me? And what the angel said at the end of it. That was a little weird.
Everything's weird here. You know that.
Why can't I go back to Mexico City and kill people? That was so much easier.
It was infinitely easier.
So
You know that wasn't real.
Yeah, but we live in a world of perception, not reality. Soren.
I'm holding my tongue on that one.
What do you think about the angel baby weirdness?
Me? Well, it's interesting. I feel like, in some way, it is fitting that this has taken the form of your younger self, a form of your memories, perhaps. But that is what needs to be restored. Whether that is symbolic or perhaps indicative of something more more meaningful, I don't know. It's interesting, to say the least.
But why did the angel say what he said? What they said? It's a legacy?
Soraya, didn't you say that the angels regard something called the legacy? On the way there. Something about the world itself is a spell being cast.
Mindy doesn't remember.
I can hop in if that's okay.
Please do.
Yeah, sure. So the legacy is something that you would all be at least vaguely familiar with. It is the most popular sort of theory that describes the creation of the actuality. It describes the actuality itself as a spell in the middle of being cast. The spell is cast by some being referred to as the Absolute. And there are pieces that have interacted, they're like pieces of things, stuff, random objects and things that have interacted with the Absolute in some manner, and these are referred to as pieces of the legacy.
Fuck.
So she's important for multiple
Yeah, but why does she...
multiple reasons.
Okay, yeah, alrighty.
It's-
Alternatively, what it is perhaps just the way that shade exists in the absolute, but pulled out of the absolute to replace the physical version of shade that is.
What?
I don't want to say dearly departed, but is currently missing.
She's the part of me that's dead? Is that what you're saying?
Replacing the part of you that is no longer there, pulled out of actuality itself, and placed back into you, potentially, as this ritual is supposed to be performed. It's a theory.
That makes about as much sense as anything else that's happened today.
That's fair.
Well, didn't you say something about a friend of yours, Soraya? I'm sure they'll have more information.
She's the one that sent me to find the monograph in the first place, so I'm hoping she has some answers. If anyone would, it's her.
Shade, I'll give your hands a squeeze.
I'll sit upright.
I know you think you're on borrowed time, but I'll be damned if we're not going to get this to work out. We're going to make sure you're not on borrowed time anymore. And I'll look at Soraya, to Soren, and to Lucas. If you need anything, I'm here. You're my best friend, and I don't want to lose anyone else.
Alana, you might have to...
No.
We're gonna fix this.
Look, I'm just saying. It might already be done. Lucas, unless you know, way back from the Pale. Permanently.
I have not gotten that far yet.
If our resident death expert doesn't know. Look, I'm just saying, I don't want you to get your hopes up and then be disappointed. But I'll kill this motherfucker if that's what we can do. Okay? And I'll be damned if I'm not gonna have a good time doing it.
Shade, who do I need to help you take down?
Soraya saw him.
Soraya?
I'm gonna snatch the bottle from wherever it's at and take a good long drink. It was a man arms. It was hard to see. I think there were 6. Blue eyes.
Anything else? Height? Hair?
GM? It was dark. I might know how tall they are.
Yeah, roughly about 6 foot tall, kind of lanky. To clarify, those were not extra arms; those were just hands. Most of which were detached.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, curly black hair, blue eyes, kind of lanky, about 6 foot tall. A little bit of facial hair. Typically wore, or at least you encountered this person while he was wearing a featureless bronze mask.
Hands, not arms.
Which is freaking creepy.
You have no...
Those are details I can work with.
Do you have something in mind?
Oh, I ask the spirits for most things. The information they provide me is slow to be forthcoming and not always accurate. Or at least it requires a little parsing to understand, but It's better than having no lead, that's for sure.
I agree. I don't let go of your hands, Shade.
I won't let go either.
So that leads to the question. What next?
I need to talk to Emma. Figure out what to do with her.
Oh, that reminds me. The holes and the murders, I was able to get a brief connection between some of the victims. I think maybe 9, and I'll look at Soren as I finish this sentence. We're all ex-members of the Vespertine.
But I'm.
It is a very interesting word.
I'm not.
Well, it wasn't all of them, but a good chunk were.
How did you get this information?
I might have gone digging and through some records.
Were you snooping?
No, they're public records.
I'm so proud of you.
No, there wasn't a lot of records. I got this information from someone I met while I was looking through the records.
Oh?
An angel. It's not super important.
Were they hot?
Good God, Shade.
We did find that book on Vespertine in, what was her name? Celine of Unbroken Promises apartment.
And Soren sounded like they knew a bit with the questions they were asking in the library.
Yes.
So I don't want to hear an interesting word from you, Soren.
Well, it is information that is hidden. It is not easily found. And so it is interesting that you found it while searching public records, although it seems you found it from someone rather than in the records themselves, which makes a little more sense.
Yes.
Well, this will, I have some additional research to do, but that would have been helpful to know, perhaps when we were asking the creature questions in the library, as that might have informed that question.
Well, didn't realize it would be so important.
Fair enough. While we are talking about things that have already happened and cannot be changed, I seem to recall that there was a moment, maybe 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, somewhere in there, where we were talking about this thing that kills people randomly. And, we were asking what it was that was killing people. And I recall that we were all trying to come up with some kind of theory as to what it was. And I'm just going to look pointedly at the twins.
What?
It seems like there was some information you withheld during that conversation.
There's always information being withheld, Soren.
Good to know.
Look, I'm not
Very
really.
interesting.
Wasn't really ready to talk about it, Soren. It's
You
kind of
didn't have to say that you were killed.
What was I supposed to say?
That you heard something about it. That you saw something about it in a dream. I don't know.
The irony.
What's done is done.
That is why I prefaced this entire point by saying, while we are talking about things that are in the past and cannot be changed.
Lucas, what are your thoughts on this? Any of this?
I'll place my. Did you give me a saucer with the teacup?
I probably just gave you a mug.
Ugh. How uncivilized. I'll place it down on the end table and stand up. And I would like to activate my astral senses forte ability as I slowly walk across the floor and just circle the tiny shade. All it really does is I can sense spirits, astral travelers, and similarly out of phase beings or objects nearby when I trigger this ability.
I would not describe Baby Shade as any of those things.
Very interesting.
Is it a thing?
What?
I'm asking Lucas.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I have no idea what this is. And I just am staring down at the child. What were you expecting?
Isn't a monograph usually a book?
No. It's a common misconception, apparently.
I don't know.
I know. So, I knew there was a very good chance it wasn't going to look like a book or anything that you might expect needed for a ritual. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. This, I assure you, was very fiery, very far from the list of possibilities that I might have had.
Do you suppose you can still read it like a book?
Based on what Emma told me, that's sort of how it works.
Maybe we should wait to talk to Emma before we try anything. She sounds like an expert.
Of course, yes. I would very much like to hear what she has to say about this.
Wait,
I
what?
agree.
What?
What do you mean, what?
They're
Wait, you're
involved
not-
now, Soraya. They know.
Just because they know doesn't mean they have to come.
Besides, I'm most interested in the way I look at Shade's. Well, I look at Shade. Plugged that hole. To cheat death is.
It's a lot of makeup.
Hmm.
I guess you wouldn't have noticed I've been wearing more lately. The dark circles are impossible to get rid of, though.
Well, that's one answer answered. One question answered, anyway.
Soon we'll have a more permanent fix and it won't matter anymore.
You're right.
Speaking of, are we ready to head on to our next scene?
I think so.
I want to do one small thing.
I don't think Soraya's gonna bring anything else up, but I don't wanna.
As everyone's, I'm assuming, getting ready to leave. Shade, I want to give you one really tight hug and whisper in your ear. I'm not going to lose you two. We're going to fix this.
I'll hold you a little tighter and touch the back of your hair. You know I adore you, but I'm not her. And I'll pull back and give you a kiss on your cheek.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Good night, sweet girl.
You all make your way home. Alana's house is fairly central to about everyone else's, since you all live in the same neighborhood. And you all have more or less an average night for the remainder of the evening. Tomorrow, at whatever time you would like to, who will be accompanying Soraya to visit the Goetic Hall of Records?
No one. God.
Mm.
I definitely try to leave early to try to leave before anybody can.
There
I
is
feel
one-
like
To your tactics.
I feel like everybody would know that that's what's gonna happen. I open the door and
We're
I
all
can
there.
hear Shade. I can hear. I imagine Shade. Like I can hear you scurrying around to get ready because you hear me getting ready to leave, and I open the door and I see Alana and Lucas. That's what I imagine in my head.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
There is one thing I would like to do after we all have left Alana's place is I would cast the Dream Seeker spell to try and obtain a clue. And here's the part where I go ahead and be a selfish jerk about the deed that I am looking for. And
Okay.
I
Sure.
cast the spell, and when I sleep and then awake, I get a clue as to the whereabouts of a specific being or object of my choosing. And I can...
Okay. Sure. What is the level of that spell? I get the distinct impression you'll need to roll for it.
Oh yeah, 5 + 1 die.
5 + 1 die. Okay, yeah, you will definitely need to roll for it. I'll say you can do 2 success. You'll need 2 successes on this one, and you do not know the challenge, since you do not know what you're looking for exactly.
So if I spend the sorcery, I get an extra die.
If you spend sortilege, you get an
Sortilege.
extra die.
Sortilege.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Words. Made up words. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I will do that. And got enough to cast, so... that's an 8 and 2 4s.
8 and 2 4s. All right. Unfortunately, that is only 1 success. So while you don't get anything specific, you get the very distinct impression that somewhere as old as this aqueduct would likely only have been recorded. Or the deed is likely somewhere that is as equally as old as this aqueduct, which is very old trademark.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
Onto the
I-
front door.
Mhm. I open the door. Oh, good morning. I'm gonna try to walk past you. Shade's inside.
We're here to come
You-
with you.
You're trying to sneak off without us.
I'm
I
ready.
can see it on your face.
I'm ready. We're leaving. I'm right here. Look, we're leaving. I'm ready. Jesus, I just had to get my guns.
Oh my god. I'll turn and start walking.
Is Baby Shade there too?
Yeah, we would. Yeah. I would have had
Yeah,
baby
who
Shade.
took her for the night?
I-
You took her? Okay.
Yeah, because I would have tried to if Alana let me
Oh,
take
yeah.
her.
Mhm.
I probably would have questioned you taking her to the dungeon.
Oh, I don't stay in the dungeon. That's for her.
Oh,
That's
okay.
for Shade.
Okay.
I mean, I
fair.
have a separate. I mean, not that I've not used the dungeon, but like it's like I have my own space. Look,
Okay. Yeah, that's
that's for the
fair.
best. So, I would probably take her, knowing that I'm gonna try to sneak out. Which honestly probably was a nice hint to you, Alana, that I was gonna try to sneak out.
And I ignored the hint.
Of course, because of course.
We
But
have-
I have her hand in mine, or my hand in her hand in mine.
You're holding hands.
We're holding hands.
We have
It
a
is-
common goal. If you don't think I'm gonna not help you, you're crazy.
And I just want to see what happens.
I'm gonna look at Lucas, look back at Alana. I've been called far worse than crazy
By me.
every day. And I'm gonna keep walking.
All right.
To Emma.
To Emma. All right. There is just a little bit of snowfall today in Fartown. It is perpetually autumn here, so you would be more or less prepared for this at any given point in time. It's not a blizzard by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a light dusting. But so nothing seems to be greatly affected as you cross the neighborhood to go to the Goetic Hall of Records. On your way, you see a variety of things, one of which is this sort of like giant, it's like a giant violin that is also a ship, and it has these large masks with these sails that are sheet music, and it is just sailing through the air above Fartown on its way somewhere. God only knows where, because you sure as shit don't. So that is, among many things, one thing you observe on your way to the Hall of Records. Once you do get to the Hall of Records, something interesting happens that only Alana and Lucas would recognize. Soraya, you would have attuned yourself to this long ago because of how long you spent here. And Shade, some of your bodily sensations just aren't what they used to be, quite frankly. But
noticed.
Alana and Lucas, you would feel this overwhelming wave of nausea as you approach the 5 enormous towers, which are the Goetic Hall of Records. Actually, I'm going to play our first Sooth card because
Do I notice them feeling sick?
Yeah. I'll grab Alana's hand.
Is that normal?
What was that? Ugh.
I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't feel well, you're more than welcome to stay here. I don't think it gets any better. I'm just very used to it.
I'm okay.
No,
Did
you
you
should
do
really
that?
stay here. Did I do that?
I'll squeeze
Huh?
your hand.
Not this time.
Sometimes she makes me nauseous.
No, it was definitely a wasn't there then there type of sensation.
Like I said, you can stay here.
You'll have to force me away if you want me to leave.
And that's rude.
And
Crazy, rude, and I'm the bitch. Okay. Keep
All right.
walking.
So the first card we played is the Ambassador. Has a value of 8. Vision, Swans, Blades, and Water, meaning diplomacy, reason, discussion, and intelligence. I already have an idea for this card, but as this card is the Adept of Visions, our next thing we do is actually to play another card as well.
Oh, no.
Oh shit. Okay, we're really going for it. The next card we play is the Vizier. Let me quickly open up my table of contents because this one's really bad. All right. The Vizier is associated with notions, cats, clocks, and winds. This is the nemesis of notions, and all of you have -1 on all of your ventures. If your heart is associated with notions, cats, clocks, and wind, all of your ventures start at a -2.
I was gonna say this sounded
Um,
super familiar. I think we drew this last game.
It's really
Yeah.
rude.
The Vizier has meanings of manipulation, sycophancy, power, and influence.
GM, can I say that the night before I took some time to regather and rest myself to get my pulls back up?
Oh yeah, every night your pools refresh.
Okay.
And fix
Okay.
your finger.
Your pools refresh. You get all your
Oh.
rests back. You're
Yeah.
tip top good to go.
My finger's more. My finger was wrapped pretty well. I'm pretty good at it. I mean, it's maybe rewrapped.
Does Soraya actually have any injuries still? Or would they have been healed mechanically?
It's. Yeah, how does that.
The injuries are gone as the demon has completed its task.
Perfect. Everything's great. It's a broken finger.
Ask her how many broken fingers she's had.
I'd rather not know.
I'd wager all of them at least twice.
It's better than a broken wrist. Only took one time to try that. go in.
I'll lead away, Soraya.
All right.
We
Soraya, you would know. Okay.
Say we didn't make an appointment, so that's fine. I'm just going anyway. Yeah, it's fine. It's gonna be great. It's fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Isn't the same
Yeah, you'll be-
place that Soraya and I had to go in one at a time, right?
No, different place.
Mhm.
That was a shop. That was Victoria Vespers.
That's what I thought.
Who Emma also sent me to.
So the main tower at the Hall of Records is this enormous clock tower, which all of these are the tallest structures in Fartown. The clock tower is the tallest of all of them. This is sort of like the main tower, so to speak. Fortunately, Emma Elizabeth is only on the 3rd floor. She's not that high up. So it's pretty easy to get to her office. And you know that, well, at least fortunately, you step into this relatively large office with a pretty decent view of the sort of little plaza that the towers surround. Office is empty except for Emma. The office is pretty well decorated, very sort of 1920s Art Deco type style. The only sort of abnormality you notice are a couple of things. One, there's a large, almost oversized gold revolver in like a display case on like a sort of like a mini bar almost off to the side. And then off to the, that's my left hand, off to the left, there's just a freestanding door.
When we go in, I will catch Shade's hand, free hand, and I will glance at the gun, and I will glance back at her. Do not touch it. And I'll keep walking.
I also glance at the gun and almost semi under my breath, I'm just like, what is it with weapons and being displayed? And I'll just keep going.
They're meant to be used.
I don't say anything.
Soraya, hello. How are you doing today? Take a seat. She sort of waves a hand and chairs appear.
Fantastic. I'll lead little baby Shade to kind of... I'm actually going to direct little baby Shade into a seat, and I'm going to kind of stand behind it. Not really sure what to do with the baby Shade.
And who is this?
This is,
It's the monograph.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
Is this typical?
It's not typical, but it's not. It wouldn't be the first living monograph we found. Well,
is it real?
Living. She's real in the sense that this is a thing that exists. This is an objective phenomena. That's not a real person.
Oh, thank God. I can swear around it. Okay.
If she's anything like the other monographs we've observed, she will not eat. She will not sleep. If she... Well...
God, does that mean she was watching me sleep last night?
She was doing something last night.
Well, I found her.
It's either one works.
So now what's the next step?
That is a wonderful question. Mr. Faust, what do you think? And you notice this, like, out of all of the finery and the well-organized perfection that is this office, one thing that stands out is this, like, horribly mangy white cat that looks like it's been astray for, like, way too fucking long, and yet it's just sort of, like, lounging around here. It sort of looks over. Well, that's not a person.
Ew.
Oh, a fucking course it's not a person. You're not a person either. Well, thank you for stating the obvious.
What is it?
Can you not just... The cat just, like, lazily looks baby Shade up and down. Well, why don't you just ask it? Well, aren't you just supremely helpful today?
I will walk up to Baby Shade and kneel in front of her. And look around like this isn't weird at all.
Mm-hmm.
What are you?
I'm magic.
That's cool. Do you know anything?
She sort of like waves a hand and it sort of like discorporates for a second into this like pale smoke and then just reforms into a hand.
That's all I got. She stopped me. What do I ask?
If I may.
I guess so.
Hello, dear. What is your name? I'm Scheherazade. Okay, Scheherazade. Now tell me. What is it that you do? I bring people back. Now, could you tell me how you do that? Or, honestly, if it's very complicated, could you write it out? Yeah. And so Emma Elizabeth provides a piece of paper, or like a notepad and a pen, and Baby Shade goes to town just writing. A couple of things. This writing is in the language of ghosts. So while Emma and Soraya would have a very easy time reading this, I don't think it is likely that anybody else knows this language.
I will look at Shade as these questions are being asked. And I will just lock eyes and I will say, I told you I was going to fix it.
If you say so.
Emma sort of, after Shade is done, picks up the notepad with one hand. In the other hand, you also notice that she has a gold handcuff cuffed to a small gold birdcage that she is just carrying around, and the birdcage seems empty.
Scheherazade.
Yeah?
Why do you look like that?
You know, I don't know.
Have you always looked
Why do you
like
look
that?
like that? Have you always looked like that?
Are you just repeating everything I say?
That is something
Are you
you
just
used to
repeating
do.
everything I say?
Oh my
That-
god, I love her.
God help
Oh
me.
my god,
Why
I
are-
love her.
Why are there two of them?
Soraya's a bitch.
But Soraya's my sister.
Fun fact, Soraya's... Well, I don't want to confuse the thing. Yes, I have always looked like this. Where's your
Oh.
bird?
Oh, are you speaking to Emma now?
Emma has the bird on her hand?
Emma has the birdcage,
Oh, okay,
yes.
okay. Never mind. I'm not
no,
gonna ask.
Emma
her.
has the birdcage, yes. No, that's another story entirely. Mindy, I have provided you with the mechanics of the ritual already in our DMs, and I can resend that to you if necessary. But Emma provides you with a rather long list of things that you need. These things involve emotion leaves, which are the sort of physical embodied essence of a couple of different emotions. I think there are 3 specifically. You require a set of emotion leaves with 3 different emotions. You require 5 participants in total. Each you have to have all of the 4 hearts represented. And you need to have at least 8 levels worth of magical items on your person. These can be ephemera objects, though.
Okay. Will you send that to me again? Because I don't know if I have those details.
I will.
At some point.
I will resend it to you. But the point is, there's a laundry list.
There's a lot of stuff. This was but this was the piece that I was sent to take care of first, and now I have a better idea of what I need.
Well, I can't say it's one of the more simple rituals I've ever seen, but it could be a lot worse.
Is it really
Miss
going to
Emma. Go ahead.
Is it really going to work?
Yes. Shade, it's going to work.
We're gonna make sure it does.
We'll see about that.
Shut up. Can you just stop for 5 seconds?
Miss Emma.
Oh, just Emma is fine.
With your line of profession, I know monographs are very important and to the rituals. This isn't a question I want to ask, but it is something I feel needs to be asked so precautions can be taken. Can the monograph be destroyed?
Well, yes. In that sense that anything physical or magical can be destroyed if you do the right thing, frankly. So yes, it can be.
You collect these.
I do.
Could you keep this safe while I figure out the rest of it?
Of course. She wouldn't be the first living monograph, and she wouldn't even be the first one that, well, looks kind of like a human. I was actually going to mention... Well, in any case, you can only cast this ritual once from a monograph. If you're willing to leave this monograph with us permanently, of course you'd be able to use it when the need would arise for you, but I would also be able to pay you for its retrieval as well.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Sure. I would be able to pay you for the retrieval of this monograph if you were to leave her to the Order. Of course, you'd be able to access her whenever you would need to cast your ritual, but... Well,
after the ritual, I don't necessarily have a need for it. So, if I can use it, still giving it to the Order, you would have, you can guarantee that I will have access when I get every...
yes, I can absolutely guarantee that you will have access. The only thing that might prevent me is, quite honestly, something that would be able to prevent you if you were to hold on to it. If you're already asking me as to whether or not this thing can be destroyed, I'm assuming that there is some level of irritation this might cause somebody, and depending on who you're irritating, well, I may not be able to guarantee everything, but assuming you haven't angered something absurd, you should be fine.
I just look at all three of you pointedly.
Was it the Vi?
The thaw.
The thaw. What? So, hypothetically, if, to be fair, I don't really know if they were after.
They were after you.
After me is very different than after this. Her. And we don't even know for sure if that's why.
What are you talking about?
Regardless, she's probably safer with you.
I would imagine so.
I'm going to kind of fold up, roll up, kind kind of what was provided, and tuck it away. I guess I'll start looking for those other pieces that I need.
Well, it does sound like a good plan. Oh, by the way, I have something for you, Soraya. Someone dropped this off. Making friends in very interesting places. Emma hands you a book that is called The Petitioners.
Do I
No fucking clue.
okay, if I do a quick if I like open the book, like do I get any idea of what is it?
It's
Or what's it about?
Sure. It very from what you can tell by just flipping through, it
Very
describes people going to mentors to obtain things.
Who was it from?
Well, honestly, I don't know. It was dropped off at my office to give to you because you honestly don't have a lot of interaction with a lot of people, so it came to me.
Why don't you have your own office, Soraya?
Because then people might stop by and try to talk to me.
There.
She has a good point.
Well, thank you, I guess, for the delivery. It's very strange. I guess we can get out of your hair. Thank you for the help. I'm sure I'll be calling on you again in the future.
Oh, you're most welcome to. By the way, here is your payment. She provides you with 6 mage coins for the retrieval of a very powerful monograph.
Emma,
Yes?
this monograph is really important to Soraya and Shade and myself. I know it's in your hands now, but do you mind if I cast a little extra bit of protection on her?
By all means.
And I'll kneel down in front of baby Shade. Sweetheart, I'm going to cast a spell of protection on you. Is that okay?
Okay.
And I would like to weave protection and strength to protect her from anything that might harm her or destroy her in any way.
Got you. How long
I'm
would you
dumping
like this to last?
all my sorcery into it, so 7.
Okay.
So the effect will last as long as that will allow.
Okay. I will broadly say that this will be a sort of low-level protection, more or less equivalent to giving +1 on all significant defense actions. If you want this to last for, I'll say, a year and a day.
Okay.
Sure. Yep. So you can clean out your sorcery pool, and that's that.
Pat her on the head.
I'll give Emma a nod before we leave.
Sure. Outside of Emma's office, if there's nothing else that any of you would like to do, we're good.
I was just say as we're leaving, I'm gonna I'll just kind of give Lucas a look. Was that entertaining enough for you this morning?
It was decidedly less exciting than I thought it would be.
I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not really that sorry.
If you said you were sorry, I would believe you to be lying.
Wise. I'll keep walking.
Outside of Emma's office, you do find somebody waiting for you. I'm not sure how many of you would recognize this person, except for Shade. You recognize the ambassador straight away. Hey, Shade.
Hi.
We should talk.
Oh, this isn't a really great time. Is it urgent?
I mean, I guess not right now urgent, but, you know, today urgent.
Okay.
I could come by the dungeon.
Oh, that sounds like a great time.
God.
Alana, you should
Okay,
come
I'll come
too.
by tonight.
It depends on what sense of the word you're using the dungeon.
You know what sense of the word she's using.
I had to ask.
It'll be a great time. What do I call the ambassador?
You can call the
Ambassador?
ambassador, honestly, whatever you like.
I will pass.
Fine.
But thank you.
Fine. Yeah, I'll meet you in the dungeon. And is time a thing here at 9:00 p.m.?
Yeah, sure, that works. Let's just make sure we get to talking before other things. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
It's usually more effective.
I'm not gonna say that out loud. It's been. Hi.
Hi.
She just kind of walks away.
That
She's
was
adorable.
enchanting.
That's my call, by the way. She's the one who is telling me how much time I have left.
I see.
I try to keep her occupied. And, you know, on my side.
I'm so fucking happy I pulled the ambassador. You have no idea.
Anyway,
All right.
On our way, I suppose.
On our way. And now I think we can hop to. You all have the list of potential vignettes we were going to do. And so, just briefly, what is something that we would all like to accomplish right about now? Or not right about now, like over the course of 2 weeks.
I think we should do a Soren one.
Yeah.
Sure. Soren, what would you like to accomplish?
Let's do that advancement ceremony. I feel like that is an appropriate thing to do.
You didn't invite us? How?
No,
Did
it
you?
is very top secret.
I mean, how top secret is top secret? I was top secret. I didn't invite anybody. I tried to uninvite people.
You
Yeah,
did not
but you
invite-
see, unlike what you have done, I have not told anyone anything about it. It is so top secret that literally only one person with a name knows about it. And it's Euphemia.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a point.
That bitch.
He also used the phrase top secret.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
I just got yelled at for keeping other secrets. Okay, this is out of character.
Okay, so, Soren, you would have received a letter at the Wooden Nickel, or whatever you call, in particular, your house, a while ago, saying that your research proposal had been accepted, and therefore you would be elevated to rank 2 in the Vancian Order.
Yeah.
This, at least the process of actually that elevation involves a couple of things. It requires a brief interview with a representative of the Telmeric Court. These are, I believe, the 6 most powerful Vances who sort of oversee the entire operation. And after that interview, there is a very small sort of ritual practice, which, among other things, involves a slight enchantment on your spell book to where it now has an infinite quantity of pages, representing your infinite potential, if that is something you care about.
Well, yes, I am infinitely, potentially powerful.
So you are able to sufficiently breeze through your interview based on the blanked out. Breeze through the interview based on the research you have proposed, and then your the enchantment placed on your spellbook is placed on by Euphemia, and she sort of performs the enchantment.
Okay. When the whole ceremony is over,
Mhm.
I would like to perhaps pull Euphemia aside for just a moment,
Mhm.
because I have a quick question for her. Perhaps after we, all have little hors d'oeuvres and go through the punchline, I will,
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
walk over when there's kind of a lull at the end of the party.
Sure. Yep. Hey, Sora.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Your help was very much appreciated.
You would have done it with or without my help.
Well, I appreciate your confidence. Still, having help is what makes our order so great, because we do in fact help one another, and that is part of the structure that allows us all to succeed. So I appreciate your help. I have a kind of an odd question for you.
Sure.
Yeah. So I have been doing a bit of research for fun recently.
Okay.
And I have come across an interesting piece of information that I feel like I was curious if perhaps you had any knowledge whatsoever. So this is very weird. You recall how the other day I came over to your office and helped you clean up a couple of things?
I do, and very grateful for that, by the way. I cannot imagine how long that must have taken on my own.
You know what I said about helping. It is what makes us so great. I while helping you, I saw a word that sounded familiar to me. And when
Okay.
I thought about it a little bit more, it occurred to me that it was a word that I did in fact know. I was familiar with, but I just didn't recognize it at the time. And so I did a little extra research, but I'm coming to some dead ends. How familiar are you with, and I'll kind of get close and whisper, the Vespertine? It seems like an interesting organization, and I must admit that it has piqued my curiosity.
Euphemia's countenance completely drops as you mentioned the word Vespertine. And she does not whisper back to you, but she says, Soren, that's not something I can talk about with you in this place. If you'd like to continue this discussion, you can find me at the oldest house. And if you find yourself unable to find the oldest house, I fear this will remain a dead end for you.
Fair enough. I appreciate your help very much in this matter.
I don't know how much you've learned about the Vespertine. I can tell you my involvement is not ongoing. And, well, the house is in Fartown if you can find it.
I am sure that I will find it. You know me, I tend to be very resourceful.
I look forward to it.
Me as
It'd be nice
well.
to have some allies.
Yeah. I will just look her in the eye and say, "Are you okay?" Like very quiet under my breath. Do you need help?
Yes, but in the sense that I'm working to accomplish something, not that I'm in any immediate danger.
Okay. Well then, I look forward to a future conversation about this particular topic. But for now, I think I'm going to refill my punch glasses empty. Would you like some?
I would very much like some. Thank you, Soren.
Yeah, and I will take her punch glass and go fill them both up.
Sure. Yep.
And try to kind of nonchalantly slide the fact that I might have just ruined someone's day under the rug.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yep. If you do continue discussing anything with Euphemia, it's a little awkward, but you feel like you've mostly slid it under the rug. It's like you've slid it under the rug, but there's still like a lump there.
Oh, I know how to cut my losses. I will return it. Say, oh, I've just forgotten. I have to go and get something from my apartment, and I will walk away and leave within 2 minutes.
Okay. She sort of accepts her drink. I hope I see you at the house, Soren.
I will be there.
Is there anything else you would like to accomplish at the Vancian campus today?
Not yet, no.
Okay, sure. All right, gang. Let's see. We're about an hour and a half into it, so why don't we take a quick break here? And we will be right back in probably about 5 to 10 minutes. Go, get up, stretch, drink some water, drink some wine, do whatever you want to do for the next 5-10 minutes, and we'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Welcome back from break. I know words. I hope you got something to drink, something to eat, stretch your legs, and did all that fun stuff. I think we could hop right back into it. I'm actually going to pull a Sooth card real fast, which will do a couple of things, one of which will determine our... All right, so oh, Jesus. We play the Unwelcome Child. We're having so much fun tonight, y'all. This card is, let's see. I'm sorry, I have to flip between 2 different tabs to properly get this Unwelcome Child. All right, this card is the Apprentice of Notions, Cats, Clucks, and Wind. So if that is your heart, you have a -1 to all of your adventures. Unwelcome Child is associated with bad luck, imbalance, things undesired, outcasts, and duplicitousness. I did not know that was a word. Okay. All right, I know where I'm going with this then. So, Shade, honestly, the nights that you don't have nightmares might even be worse than the ones where you do have nightmares. Because what happens when no dreams come to you at all is you are just aware. Your body still locks up for the sake of having to rest and recover whatever it can, even given your state. But your mind does not sleep. Your body shuts down and you lay in your bed frozen until your body decides that it wakes up again. And for the first half of whatever night that this is, that is what you experience. No dreams come to you, and you just sit in your bed, and you just feel yourself shutting down. At the same time, though, something does happen. It's almost a familiar feeling, but not one you're expecting anymore. You begin to have a dream. This dream, however, is not strictly yours. You find yourself in this sort of blank, empty space as someone has entered your mind to provide you with this dream. And honestly, this might even have been a welcome reprieve, except for that you eventually do see the person who has granted you this dream is this tall, lanky man in a black suit with 6 hands that are just crawling all over him in this featureless bronze mask.
I reach for my guns.
You reach for your guns, and they're there.
I draw them both.
All right.
I don't fire.
Sure. I'm sorry, I'm afraid those won't do you much good here.
What will?
In your state, unfortunately, not much.
Then why are you doing this?
You should tell your sister to stop.
No. First of all, I don't tell her what to do. Doesn't
That's
really
fair.
work. But it's-
Entirely fair.
But that sounded an awful lot like a threat.
It's a request, I suppose? Look, I'm sure this means absolutely nothing to you, but what occurred between us? Nothing personal.
I get that.
So I'm not coming here to threaten you. I'm not coming here to gloat or taunt you. But I'm saying for the sake of your sister, for her protection, I think she should stop.
What's the worst that could happen?
I'm not even sure I want to know that.
Why me? Did you have a quota you needed filled? You said it wasn't personal. And I understand. Trust me. I used to do what you do.
You had dreams you weren't supposed to have, and saw things you were not supposed to see.
It's hardly my fault now, is it?
No, it's not. But for the sake of a lot of people out there in the city, and as he says this, the empty white space you're in begins to become populated with just the sights and sounds and smells of Fartown. For the sake of a lot of people out there, I had no choice.
Did you have to kill me? Why couldn't you have just taken them?
To be honest, I don't know. I do what I'm asked.
Lackey. Look.
Were you so different?
No. No, and I enjoyed it.
Well, I don't.
Well, mine wasn't real.
That's fair.
If I don't come after you, who should I go after?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you should go after is within anybody's reach.
Oh, you'd be surprised. My sister's pretty powerful.
No. In any case, I couldn't tell you. We don't talk about it.
So you want my sister to stop, but you're not giving me anything in exchange.
You act like this is... I am physically incapable of telling you.
Anything. Anything at all.
Relating to this? Yes. Literally anything.
Like what will happen to my sister if she doesn't stop?
That I could speculate.
Anything I can
And
stop.
I imagine, well, for a while, for a few weeks, first few months, maybe. For now, it will just be the thaw, I imagine. What comes after that, I can only guess. And to be quite honest, I think I would sleep better if I didn't.
Did they tell you to come here? To do
No.
this?
No.
This is out of the goodness of your heart.
I don't like what I do.
Then why do it? We have choices, you know. All of us.
There's... He begins to speak and he just like... Not gags, but he just like stops on the words.
That sucks.
You're telling me.
What's your name?
My name is Kreiter.
It's nice to meet you, Kreiter. Dungeon Game Master, how do you spell that?
Cryter.
Okay.
Alana's down there having a revelation.
You gonna leave me in here?
Do you want me to?
Yes. You gonna stay?
No. I certainly don't have to.
You can.
Do you want me to?
It would be more fun that way.
Then I'll stay. Whatever the remainder of this
Mhm.
stream entails, and whatever the remainder of your interactions are, Kreiter does not remove his mask.
Fair. Does he still have the hands?
If he chooses to dismiss them, he can. So depending
Nope.
on what occurs.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
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 I do this just to torture Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. That's it. Thanks, friend.
Sure. All right. So that having occurred, I don't know if that's the sentence I meant to say, but that's the sentence I said. And I'm going with it. A few days later, some indeterminate amount of time later, we find ourselves in once again in Mentor's library. Soren, have you taken this journey with any of your friends, or is this something you're going alone for?
Well, I can only guarantee safe passage for myself, and so I would probably only go by myself, unless someone directly to me, without any prompting whatsoever, told me that they wanted to return with me. So I feel like I'm probably here by myself.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, I would re-navigate back to the tree, to the creature that we spoke with last time, that was formerly the book/blender that I had and had many a conversation with.
Tree.
Is now a tree,
Sure.
and is perhaps a demon. We're not sure.
Oh, it's a demon. I'll say you could put that one together. Totally.
Okay, fair. Well, you know, demons aren't my expertise, so my ability to identify them is kind of it's a little lacking, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I would approach.
Sure. For the sake of describing, it does take you a while to get to this tree. You have a pretty good sense of where you're going, having interacted with it and just having like this very visceral gut feeling of at least being able to get there. interestingly enough, this gut feeling does not lead you towards any exit, so that's going to be a little more difficult. But
Yeah.
at least in terms of getting there, it takes you probably the better part of about 8 hours to make the walk all the way out to the tree.
Yeah, easy. That is shorter than a shift at the bar sometimes. I'm fine.
Yeah. So you make the walk and you find this old, gnarled black tree just growing in the middle of this library. You see some more of the like floor tile has been just like fractured and broken through by tops of roots and soil.
I see you are making your home here. How do you like it? You're welcome, by the way.
This is a good home.
Yeah. Is it good enough for you to answer my final question?
I suppose that depends on what your final question is.
I'm sure you remember it. It has not changed. I told you I would be back, and here I am. I am prepared for the answer.
You get a very weird sensation. The tree is kind of an animate being in that it's mostly stationary, but it does sort of shift and sway with the speech of the demon. But as it begins to try to express things to you, it just stops. I think you should find a better question.
I think you should perhaps expand your boundaries.
Would that I could.
Yeah. Okay, then. Here is another question for you. And this one will require an in-depth answer for you to satisfy it.
Ask away.
Tell me the exact steps by which I would find the information I require. Whom do I speak to? What do I do?
Folds into itself
Where
for a
do I
brief
go?
minute. The only answers you could possibly find to a question like that could be found at the oldest house, if you could find it.
It's funny. I heard that name yesterday.
Now that's funny. That's the best I can do for you.
I must admit, I'm not convinced that is satisfying. But we will save the final question for another day then.
At this point, you may ask all you'd like, but you'll not get another answer out of me.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you don't know the answers to any more questions. And
The
I
tree
will walk
kind of
away.
Shakes a little bit, and before you go, you notice one thing. One of the leaves, and you notice the leaves on this thing are just a mishmash of like random different shit. Like some look like pages in books, some look like paper mache or something. It's real weird. This tree is just a collection of a variety of different things that one may or may not call leaves. One of these things, this crumpled up ball of paper that's like hanging off the tree like an apple, falls, bonks you on the head. It's paper, so it doesn't affect you. But this is a spell. If you were to pop it open, you would find the spell Touch of the Demiurge. No lore context for that spell, but you can look up the title. And you'd still need to spend acumen to learn it, but you've at least found this spell.
I will accept this as the second half of payment for that question.
I suppose that's fair.
And I will walk away.
Sure.
I would like to navigate for about 5 to 10 minutes.
All right.
And then well, let me ask a very quick question first, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to locate an exterior wall of the library?
If an exterior wall to the library were to exist, it is so far out that you could not imagine how long it would take you to get there.
In that case, I will use my Secret Soul ability out of view from as many people as possible.
All right, sure.
And I will withdraw into my soul and disappear.
All right. Why don't you describe what that looks like for us?
Yeah, well, I think I would probably take the piece of paper and put it in my bag. And I would find a little quiet corner and I would sit down as if to meditate, kind of crossing my legs. And I would just close my eyes and think for a moment. And as this thought kind of passes over me, I would take a very deep breath. And as I exhale, visually, my body will just dissipate and vanish into nothing. And where I was sitting, nothing remains.
All right. You're not around to witness this, but the energy from this, I can't even call it a magical practice because it's not even that. The energy from acknowledging your secret soul reverberates, not just throughout the library, and maybe not even throughout the library, but somewhere, some way, something hears you.
Okay. When I reappear, I will reappear in my home.
Sure. Leave us when the sun next rises?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
That is my trip to the library.
All right. All right, everyone. Is there anything else you would like to specifically accomplish?
Do we have ways to contact each other? Like
Yeah, I
telephones?
imagine it's not that difficult. Yeah, there are ghosts in the telephones, but yeah, you can call each other.
Okay. I'm not gonna call anybody. I was just curious.
Sure, yeah.
I
changed
think
it.
we're also all within walking distance.
Sure, yeah.
Also true.
I'm just ready for someone to tell me the stuff.
What stuff?
Ah, fuck you. Can Alana and I graduate from Weaver School?
Oh yes, that is a thing I wanted to do tonight. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things. One, are you bringing anyone with you to this event? Because this is not necessarily a private thing.
I'll bring Soraya.
I would casually
Oh.
mention it next time we were all together and say if they wanted to come, they can come.
I don't want to. If I go by myself, I don't have anyone to pretend to talk to. So I would really prefer if Lucas and or Soren would go.
Very well.
There'll be whiskey.
Fine, I will attend, but only for the whiskey and to divert social attentions.
All right. You're ceremony. There is a small ceremony that is required for weavers to go through to advance from the first to the second degree. Every cell has a different ceremony. Every cell has its own customs and rituals, and even unique location. The location that you mostly gather at as a weaver cell is this sort of like large house that is owned by leader of your weaver cell, this man named Pontiff. This house is sort of like, so imagine a head that's split probably about like at the cheekbones or so, and you've got stairs leading up like to the split, and then the top half is just like floating above, and you walk up the stairs, up the top half of the face, and then down basically like a ladder to enter this house. The house itself is very nice and well lit, and if you were to walk outside any of the doors that was not like the front exit door, you would find yourself in like a nice pastoral countryside. If you were to take the front door out, you would find yourself on face stairs. So, you know, it's a bit of give and take. But anyway, this is the location which you find yourselves for the ceremony. The person performing the ceremony is a woman that you would both know, a woman named Ashler Nightingale. She is a second degree weaver who is close to becoming third degree. And she's very sort of active. You would both definitely know her. She has a couple of young kids, and she's very popular amongst the weavers, although she's not like a social butterfly or anything. But she's the one performing the ceremony, which is sort of like this. The Spiders game is hard to describe on principle because it's a game with like, I think it's like 9 different game boards and like dozens of different pieces, and it's whack to even begin with. That said, your Weaver ceremony broadly involves sort of a passing off of pieces, of these old pieces of the Spiders game that have been in this cell for a very long time. To you, so you still keep your old boards, your old, you know, the foundation, but you are passed down this collection of old pieces that have been in this Weaver cell for God knows how long. And after you accept these new pieces from which you will use to continue to play the Spiders game, you advance from first degree to second degree. For our audience here, audience being Soraya, Lucas, and or Soren, depending on who decided to come, there's probably about 10 other people here. It's a relatively small cell, and basically there's just a bunch of chairs set out, and it's very informal. It's just a bunch of people sitting outside, basically just like watching this happen as they're sort of like by like almost like a patio type area performing this ceremony. You're watching from the countryside, but yeah, that's broadly what happens at the ceremony.
I sit as far away from the other people as possible.
Yeah, sure. It's not that far away because it's like 12, like the 12 seats for the 12 members of the circle, and then maybe like an extra row. So most of your people like 3 feet away from another person.
It's fine. I'll just sit on the end. Oh, I don't want to sit on the end because then someone can come. I'm gonna make Soren sit on the end, and then I'm gonna sit in between Lucas and Soren. Thank you. That's it. I just needed everybody to know that that was what was happening.
I love Soraya so much.
It's a bizarre ceremony, I suppose.
It doesn't really make much sense to me, but then again, nothing Shay does makes a lot of sense to me, so I guess why would this be any different?
Yeah, it would be easier if they could just, you know, sit down, cast the spell, and be done with it instead of all the fancy stuff. Just,
I think it's supposed to be like symbolic.
Yeah, but here's the thing: symbolism does not convey meaning.
I'm not disagreeing with you. How long is it going to take?
I don't know. Would you like some whiskey? And I will pop
Yes.
open the hollow walking stick that I have.
No. Take a... Man, just take a drink.
Isn't that my whiskey?
Oh no, I've emptied that bottle days ago.
I was gonna say probably weeks ago.
I'll nudge
At this point, yeah.
I'll nudge Lucas, even though it's not my whiskey to offer.
This time, yes. And I'll take a sip of it. Perfect.
I swear to God, if they are drinking down there
What did you expect, Shade?
without me.
Oh, there we go.
God.
Are we like really in like the middle of the ceremony right now?
Sure.
No, I'm asking Alex.
I mean, based on the conversation that Soren and Soraya just had, I'm assuming yes.
Shade, do you want to see something I learned, and I can help you get a little revenge on them drinking without you?
Always. Yes. Yes.
Would you say they're within near distance, Alex?
Let me quickly check the reference I have to see if it mentions distances. No, it looks like it doesn't. So I'll say one category above near.
I'd like to weave together movement and strength to just tug and grab Soren's whiskey bottle.
Okay, sure. Would you like to do this like surreptitiously, or are you just going for it?
Surreptitiously.
Okay, sure. Are you just like pulling it, or are you trying to get it yourself?
I tried to bring it to Shade.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Okay. So how much sorcery are you spending on this? I'll say that this is, broadly speaking, I think this is relatively low level effect. I think this is like a level 2 effect.
I'll do a level 3 effect to bump up the range.
Yeah, sure. Oh no, this is level 2 effect, so you're using 3 sorcery. Soren, are you trying to resist this at all, or are you just letting it happen? Are you too surprised to react, or what's going on with you?
So there are 2 pieces of information that I think are critical here. First, this is not a bottle. This is my cane. And so if you're looking for a bottle, you will not find one.
But we all know you
drink from your cane.
Yeah,
Yes.
we all know that.
Second, I think, yes, while this is happening, I would likely, if at any point it seemed like my cane was no longer in the control of someone in the 3 of us here, and of course I would keep my hand on it. When they are not holding it to drink, it would be in my hand because it is my cane. But I also have a spell that I would use to try to pull it back should it begin to drift away.
Okay, sure. So why don't you tell me the spell? And I have no idea how PvP works in Invisible Sun, so we're just going to roll off based on our ventures.
Sure.
Unless you would like to pull a Sooth card, and we can do that.
I want to do Sooth.
Yeah, do it.
Sure, why not?
All right, let's see if this provides any information for us. Let me quickly pop open my copy of the gate. Nope, there it is. All right, Indigo Sun, we play the Watcher. Let's quickly pop this open. The Watcher is the sovereign of mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stones. So is that either one of you?
Oh,
Either one of you stoic?
no.
I believe that's
Soraya.
okay. Yeah, great. Let's see. Meanings: parental figure, sight, alertness, observation, knowledge. The wisdom that comes from taking the time to observe and contemplate before acting cannot be overstated. The Watcher watches. He watches from afar, assessing and contemplating. I'm going to say this is based on. I'm going to say that based on the fact that this card is associated with a father figure and parental figure, I'm going to take the very broad interpretation that this is something close to the relationship between Soren and his cane. If he is able to hold on to the whiskey cane.
Yeah, it is my baby.
I'll lean back over. I thought it was going to be easy, but I'm not surprised.
Alana, not even I could separate him from that cane.
Did it like jerk in his hand or anything? Like, did we see?
Oh, yeah.
What
Oh,
are
yeah.
you doing?
Probably like knock the chair in front of you.
God, people are gonna look at us. Stop.
People look at you.
Look, I am very sorry, and I will get up and walk to go use the restroom.
Sure, yeah, easy enough. You kind of have to take a circuitous route so as not to like walk straight through the.
Oh yeah, of course. But you know,
Okay.
it's that thing where
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, it's if it's pulling anyways. Okay, fine. I will stand up and I will walk away.
Sure, yeah. Easy enough. So broadly, the last part of this ceremony involves two special pieces. These are not old pieces. These are crafted specially for you. So what aggregates are each one of you taking?
I'm taking freedom.
Okay.
And I am taking blood.
All right. So. Okay. So, Shade, your piece is this little, like, it's like a perfect drop shape of blood, and it is this hovering little, like, squishy liquid bit. And you'll notice that all of your pieces are kind of like this. They are all aggregates that have been specially made for people in the cell over the years. And you know that eventually, if and when you die, your little drop of blood will be passed on to other people. So that is your special piece. Alana, quite frankly, I have no idea what a freedom piece would look like. So do you have an idea of what a physical embodiment of freedom that's like yay big would look like?
I would think that it looks something similar to a gust of wind blowing through a wall, like blowing apart stone.
Sure. Yeah, and that is the small piece that is presented to you. There's almost no talking throughout this entire process, but after you are past that piece, there are just a few words said, a small bit of clapping, and you're basically free to go. A lot of people walking up to you, congratulating you.
I have to step away for just 1 second. Hold on, it's my cat.
Sure, yeah.
After the ceremony, I want to specifically go up to Ashlar and give her a very big hug.
Sure, she hugs you right back.
Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure. Congratulations.
I wouldn't have been able to do it without a really good teacher.
Well, I don't think anybody could take all the credit for that, I think.
Well, you deserve at least a chunk of it.
Have a 15%.
I just give her a look. 75.
$42.
67?
$48.50. I'm not going above 50.
50.
Okay, but I don't like it.
That's okay. You deserve all the credit you can get.
Bro. In any case, how have you been? I know I've been busy.
Yes, single mom, right, B?
Yeah.
Like I said, if you need me to watch them for a day, if you need some me time.
You know, at this rate, I just might take you up on that.
Like, I promise I'll keep them away from Shade's dungeon.
You know, I keep hearing about that place, and every time I hear about it, I think I am a little more repulsed. I mean, Shade is more than welcome to. It's not my thing.
And that's okay. Come on, let me go introduce you to some friends.
Okay. The rest of you would see this younger woman, Ashler. She's like 5'4" or so, like dirty blonde hair, very simple clothing. She looks pretty fucking tired. That's the general vibe you get. Tired.
Ashlar, this is Soren, Lucas, and if you couldn't tell, this is Soraya. This is Soraya, Shade's sister.
It's good to meet you all.
Hello. Good to meet you as well.
I stare through.
I stare directly
Through
at
her.
her.
I'll
Okay,
lean over. Don't take anything personally.
She just nods in Lucas and Soraya's direction, kind of getting the hint. Oh,
It was a very good ceremony. Thank you for putting it
thank
on.
you. Oh, really? It was. The honor is mine. No, anyway, what's the rest of the day look like for you after the party?
Well, that is a great question. I don't know personally. I was thinking about perhaps reading a book, but I will have to consult with my friends to see if they wish for me to do something with them first.
Shade, where'd you end up at?
Where was I? Dungeon Master, sorry. They found my key.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Nope, not a problem. So your Weaver ceremony has been completed. Alana is introducing the person who just performed the ceremony, this woman named Ashler, to the rest of the group.
I was off dicking around somewhere and came back.
Yeah, there's plenty of time and plenty of places for you to be dicking around out here.
Oh, Ashler, thank you for that ceremony.
No, it was my pleasure.
And those kind words about my dungeon. Anyway.
Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Well, we were
I was just
talking about
getting
our
to know-
plans for the evening, for the rest of the day.
Party at my house.
Or is that the plan?
Small party. Just us.
You would certainly deserve it after today.
It's not a bad idea.
Even I understand that this, indicating Pontiff's house and everything, is a little dull.
I think we could use some booze.
No, I find it really peaceful here.
And a skull.
I gesture to the fields.
Oh, well. Okay.
But yeah, Ashler, if you need me to babysit for a bit, just let me know. My house is
Definitely
open
keep
for
that in
you.
mind. Thank you, Alana.
When we're away from Ashler, I'll look at Alana and say, "What? You didn't get enough kids with baby Shade around?"
It's just she's a very good friend and she's very stressed.
Anybody with kids is.
I don't know. She seemed more stressed than just motherhood, but I'm not one to pry into her issues.
Well, you pried into mine.
You're different.
I'll take that as a compliment. That's all that I need.
Yeah, she's had too many stresses, so anything I can do to help.
Too many stresses, like anything relevant to what we're doing.
No, she's got a crazy ex-husband.
Oh, ew. Somebody I need to take care of? I'll do it.
I haven't heard from him. Would Shade know about her ex?
I don't know. I'm gonna say
I'm a nose bitch.
no, based on the flow of information so far.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, you can tell me later.
Well, if I find him, there might not be a lot left before you can get to him.
I like this fiery side of you.
Anyway,
Not to detract from this exquisite line of discourse, but Soren, what type of reading were you planning on doing today?
Oh, well, that is a very good question. I do have some spells that I was hoping to study up on. But, you know, I also, I'm always trying to read a fun book here and there. I recently picked up a copy of, well, it's something kind of obscure. It's one of those shadow books that I enjoy so much. I don't know that you'd necessarily be very interested in it, but it's called it's called Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I'm getting into
wait, say that again?
it's called Thus Spoke Zarathustra.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard correctly.
Yeah. It is, you know, just some light reading for me.
Well, reading's always more fun in the company of someone you enjoy.
That is very true. Would you care to be around for some reading?
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
you wouldn't happen to have any books in your library about historical sites in Fartown, would you?
Well, I do have a bit of a collection. I would have to double check. I do have some history. Whether there's anything applicable to that. I have to admit that I have not read every single book in my personal collection. I sometimes collect books just because they are interesting or seem useful. I'm hoping to create a small library, not something as big as Mentors, but something more focused on useful information. But it is worth checking. Perhaps I would.
I'd like that.
Wonderful.
Whiskey and reading at Soren's house.
Well, don't let me keep you from celebrating at the dungeon, but if anyone
just
wants
move
to
it to
come
your-
and read.
We'll just move it to your house.
Yeah, okay, but there would be no dungeons at my house. That is strictly off limits.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I remember.
Good, thank you. We must respect the boundaries of each place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can pick up some pastries or something and we can... Small little party.
A cupcake or two.
Yeah, sure. I like a good pastry, yeah.
I know a place where they make cupcakes at the size of your face.
Okay,
Isn't that just a cake?
It's the cupcake shape. Shut up, God.
Now the real question is, are you getting one for each of us or just one for all of us?
One for each of us. Come on, this is a party.
I don't think I can eat that much.
You could certainly try.
So, party at
Speaking
Soren's.
of
Yeah, okay.
party at Soren's, are we all going?
I'm
Do I
making
have
Soraya
to?
come. Yes.
Okay.
Pastry stop.
All right. Pastry shop. Pastries are easy enough to acquire. They cost, compared to your income, a negligible amount of silver. I'm going to play one quick sooth card as we go into our final scene of the night. This is this is the Forgotten Prisoner. So let me quickly open my PDF back up so I can do the thing. F, where is F? It's that one. All right. Forgotten Prisoner is the apprentice of Mysteries, Rats, Mirrors, and Stones. So, Soraya, I believe that's just you. You have a -1 to all your ventures.
Cool.
Meanings: injustice, bad fortune, memory loss, and something lost. I can work with this. All right.
Cool.
So, party at Soren's goes about however a party at Soren's usually goes. It's probably not as wild as something that would occur at the dungeon, but probably nowhere near as, quite frankly, boring as a party at Alana's might be, especially if the shopkeeper, Mrs. Nusselt the Wrong Cat, was currently also in the building. But probably about halfway through. Soren, is there a front door to your house, even though it's in the bottle?
There is not a door. In order to get in, you have to use the magic to enter it.
Sure.
Which would drop you into the living room / entry area. Whereas likely we would be in the kitchen and the library / study, which are next to each other.
Sure.
The adjacent rooms.
All right, then my second question is, are you aware, well, from inside the house, if there is someone entering the house?
Not immediately, no. There is no
Okay.
doorbell.
Sure.
Generally, when someone enters, they announce themselves, but there is a very select list of people that are allowed to enter. So the bartenders wouldn't let just anyone in.
Sure, yeah. If you can hear anything that is done on the bottle, you would hear a small sequence of knocks that's like 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And eventually, probably at around 8 or 9, somebody enters the house. I have an image for this person. I will post them in the Discord chat later, so I don't have to look it up right now. Lucas, you would immediately recognize this particular figure. This is a person very heavily made up in a sort of like black velvet jacket with sort of like yellow shirt underneath. They've got these black leather gloves. They're dangling around this like dead yellow canary on like one hand, and they're just they have a look. And they sort of walk into this house. Well, hello there. Mothkeeper, I was looking for you. I do believe we have something to discuss.
How did you find me?
I find things. That is my job. That is what you hired me to do, if you remember.
Of course, Rin. Yes. I look through Soren. Soren, is there a closet or something where I might speak privately with Rin?
You are welcome
a
to.
Closet? You insult me. I will not speak in a closet.
You are welcome to enter my bedroom, or you could go into the living room and shut the door. That is about as private as one could get.
The bedroom we go.
Okay.
Don't get any funny ideas, Rin.
I didn't pick the bedroom. Rin walks on ahead.
This will be just a moment.
We'll be
And
here.
I'll shut the door behind me.
When you do that, I'm gonna look to Shade and just kind of gesture towards the door.
Oh, I got something for this. I will weave How can I do this? I want to weave obfuscation and energy to
Okay.
try and pull the sound from that room so that we can hear it.
Okay. Are you trying to remove the sound or duplicate the sound?
Duplicate the sound.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that works.
I got a
I will
secondary.
say, let me quickly pull up the level of effect table. My first instinct is to say that this is probably like... I would say this is something like an auditory illusion. So I will say this is like a level 3 effect. And if you want it to last like a while, you will need to spend, I think, 2 sorcery to get it up to on the level of like minutes.
Okay.
And an extra 1 sorcery to get it actually out of the room and into like somewhere outside.
Okay.
So your total expenditure there is, I think, 6.
6 sorcery?
Yeah.
That's what I got.
All right, great.
I would like to do a secondary effect as Shade does this.
All
I
right,
want to
sure thing.
weave sight and secrets to make
All
a
right.
one-way window through the door.
All right, yeah. I'm going to say this is a visual illusion, so this is a level 4, and I'm going to say you don't have to spend anything for range because you're casting it on the door, and you're basically making it a transparent door one way through. So it's just touch the door, though you'll have to spend an extra 2 sorcery for 6 total if you want to put it on the level of like minutes to watch.
Sure.
it.
Do I roll
Could I-
anything?
No,
Sorry.
you just spend it and it works.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Could I have said I refreshed my sorcery pool between then and now?
Oh yeah, this is
Okay.
like hours later.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
then, yeah, that's what I do.
What
Yeah,
have you done
absolutely.
to my door? It is supposed to be solid.
It's an illusion. Don't worry.
I-
It's fine. It's still there.
Just drink your whiskey.
You see this guest, air quotes, is sort of like made themselves very much at home and is sort of like lying down on your bed, Soren. Now, Mothkeeper, I hope you understand, but this time I'm going to need my payment up front before I can tell you anything.
And what would that be this time?
Oh, that will just be simply, another memory, another notion, something along those lines. Although this time, I have to admit, I've been feeling a little down lately, so if you could provide me something that is slightly more jolly than the cemetery you gave me last time, I would be very much obliged.
Jolly. Just a moment. Man, trying to think of a happy memory is rough. Okay. Okay. Yeah, lay it on me.
All right. So, first of all, what is this memory? As Vryn begins to cast a second-person memory spew on you.
It would probably be the memory of the first time I perfected the art of astral projection. So it would be myself seated probably in a quiet garden somewhere off the beaten path in the Mothlight quarter, and just seated, almost like in a meditative stance, and what for all intents and purposes would literally just like someone sitting there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, doing nothing. And in that time, I suppose it would also, the memory would also have to include the realization that I'm able to project myself. So it would have that sensation of pulling the essence out of the physical form, hovering over it and realizing, oh shit, this is a thing that I can do now. And just that immediate feeling of connecting with the non-physical and having that freedom, and then the rush of going back. So kind of like that initial event.
Okay, so if you had to describe this memory as a small marble-sized something that you vomit, how would you describe it?
It would definitely be a tiny little marble.
Or maybe like golf ball size vomit.
Golf ball size. So as I'm affected by the spell and I'm thinking about it, I could feel that sick nausea that I felt. But so I've got the...
Are we still offline?
We're online.
Okay, there we are. I see.
Cool. So I cough up that little jiggly, swirly blue orb, and it's a little wet with a little bit of slobber and bile. And Soren, you would see me just kind of like shake it, and a little bit of those flecks just kind of hit the floor, and I just kind of reach it over to hand it to Rin without ever making eye contact with him.
Sure. A couple of things. One, the process of vomiting this thing out. Every cough, every sort of lurch you make, the memory begins to fade. All the elation, all the joy, all the feeling of exhilaration and freedom and excitement and accomplishment that you have done this fades until eventually you vomit out this solidified memory and it's gone. You have no idea what your first astral projection was like. You don't even know what you're holding in your hand. It was a memory of something. Something good, something bad. You don't know. But it's something. Rin takes the memory, pulls off a piece, and pops it in their mouth like they're chewing a bit of gum, and proceeds. Now that is better. See? This is so much more pleasant. Anyway, to business. You're fucked up.
This isn't the information I was hoping you would bring to me.
I'm sure it wasn't. You should know, whatever stunt you decided to pull with your neighborhood, well, people heard it. They are not happy. And by people, I'm... Go ahead.
Are you referencing that little trifle in the 73rd?
Oh, no, I am not referencing that. I am referencing you deciding to use some very revealing information about yourself to your neighborhood authorities. You see, while Drap, as I understand he is called, might have bought your bullshit that you do actually own that place, his bodyguard did not. Your name is out there. Your secret name, the one that you do not tell people that you have. I have heard whispers.
Whispers mean nothing to me. Speak plainly.
All right. information that could very well be used to destroy you if it were manipulated in the proper way is slowly making its way back to the people who want your house. And if they are to retrieve it, it does not matter whether you have a deed or not. They could control you like a puppet, or they could disintegrate you and feed your remains to demons, and you would not even die. You would cease to exist.
Now
You
that's a
made
statement I
bold
can
choice, my
understand.
friend. And I'm afraid it did not pan out.
Just needs a little more time.
Time is a luxury that you do not have.
Well, see, that is where you and I will disagree, but your concern for me is oh so endearing.
I am sure that is why you picked the bedroom.
Do you have any good news for me?
Unfortunately, your recent actions have not proven themselves to be conducive to good news. However, if you should like me to keep my ears open on this particular set of circumstances, I could do that for a small fee.
Yes, please, carry on. You know I'm good for it.
The next time I hear something, I will return to you and we will exchange information as per our usual arrangement. Does that satisfy?
It is satisfactory, it does not satisfy.
Is there something else that you want?
No. No, your services are satisfactory.
All right. Well then, I do believe my business is done here, though I would kindly request that you enter the door. You exit the door first. I would rather not walk straight out to whatever your friends may be having waiting for me out there.
I would not be too concerned about them, but I will show you out. And I'll turn and open the door.
As soon as they start coming towards the door, I get rid of the one-way window.
Yeah, that's easy enough. You can drop stuff on that command. Yeah.
I'm still staring at the door.
Sure. Yeah. You stare at the door, and this person walks out in their velvet jacket holding their dead canary. They sort of nod at each one of you. Well, I do hope you all have a very nice evening. I will be on my way.
Good evening, Rin.
Good evening. Whatever it looks like when one exits Soren's house, you see Rin vanish.
You're in a spot of trouble, I see. Lucas?
No idea what you're talking about.
We do.
We heard everything.
And saw everything.
Of course you did.
I was reading my book, and I will hold up my book. I'm already on page 150. It's quite interesting.
You're good at multitasking, though. No?
I was reading my book.
Okay.
He's not.
He's not? Okay.
Look at that face.
Why are you being so accusatory? I was reading.
I'm not, it's adorable.
Okay.
Why are you so defensive? I'm calling you adorable.
Is this what flirting looks like?
No.
I'm very confused. I thought you were...
It's not
No.
I
flirting.
sure hope not. No, please, no.
It's
I am
just a
unsure.
compliment. Jesus Christ. Not everything I do is flirting.
I think I could use another drink.
I do not believe that.
I don't flirt with you, do I? Because that's weird.
No. I feel like I am the exception to the rule.
Fair. Well,
Do you...
Sounds like Lucas.
Vi isn't happy with you.
Everybody's got secrets these days, huh?
Yeah.
I should have shoved Vi out that aqueduct the other day. But it appears that my approach for the aqueduct will now need to take a two-pronged approach. 1, I find the deed. 2, I kill the people who want to kill me. That's simple.
How are you going to kill them?
And how many are there?
I do not know.
Sure you don't want me to kill them for you?
We could take care of that pretty easily.
I have no doubt that you could, but this is an endeavor that I've taken upon myself, and your assistance would be welcome if you offered it, but it is something that I should solve on my own as well.
Do you want help finding the deed?
I have a lead.
What is your lead?
Came to me in a dream.
Is that our new code for when we don't want to say how we got information? As it came to me in a dream?
No, this literally came to me in a dream.
Oh,
This is Lucas we're talking about.
that's fair.
The deed is in a place older than the aqueduct itself in Fartown. Hence my interest in historical places.
What's older than the aqueduct? Can't imagine much.
That's what I'm not certain of.
It'd have to be the
It must
oldest
be
place in
architecture.
Fartown.
Perhaps.
It'd be a small list.
But I can at least hone my search and target specific places. Better than searching everywhere.
Yeah, that is very true. Perhaps we will have some luck looking in the library for whatever it is you're looking for.
It's my hope.
Do you know any old places, Soren?
I know many old places. I have grown up here. I know a lot about the city. Is there anything in particular you want to know about? I could try to answer it.
What's the oldest place in town?
In town, well,
Besides the aqueduct.
In Fartown.
GM, would I know what the oldest place in town is?
Objectively, I don't think so.
Okay, that's what I'm looking
you
for.
could- Yeah, I don't think. I'll put it this way: you don't know for a fact.
Okay. You know, I don't know in terms of facts what the oldest place in the city is. But I have heard rumors that there is a very old house that has kind of piqued my interest based on some other research I am doing, unrelated to Nietzsche, unfortunately, but it may be connected, but I would have to look into it a little bit, perhaps.
What's it called?
It is quite literally called the oldest house.
Little nail on the head, don't you think?
Well, here's the thing. It is the oldest house, not the oldest place. And those words are very different.
You look like you have something on your mind. I say, I'm talking to Shade.
Well, I want to know what the oldest house is.
It is apparently very hard to find.
Why do you want to learn about the house? Soren, I understand. He thirsts for knowledge.
Oh, speaking of not keeping secrets, I should tell you all that I had a dream. It wasn't mine, per se.
A dream?
Someone invaded my mind with a dream. It was the man with the bronze mask.
What?
Your
When
murderer.
did this happen? And you're just now telling me?
It slipped my mind with the Weaver ceremony.
It slipped your mind. Oh, that's wonderful. Soren, where is your cane?
Are you okay?
She's gonna beat me with it. It's fine.
You could just drink from the bottle. I have a full bottle right here on the desk.
That's right. We're in your study. I'm gonna grab the bottle.
Yeah, you're welcome to just. There's several bottles. Do you want a glass or do you want to just drink it from the bottle? Fair enough. I will disinfect it later. It is fine.
Anyway, he warned me that we should stop what we're doing. Soraya. With the monograph.
So, let me get this straight. You had a dream where the person that killed you in your sleep came and invaded your dreams and then mentioned me and what I'm trying to do, and you didn't think to tell me.
Well, you were kind of cranky this morning.
She's cranky every morning, Shade.
Thank you,
That is-
Alana.
that is true,
Particularly this morning.
No.
It's all accurate.
Camille forgot, okay?
Are you okay though?
Me? Oh, yeah, it was fine. They just said, I think it's a man, just said to stop what we're doing and he couldn't talk about it. Like,
No, he's full of
literally
shit, so...
couldn't
Isn't this the one you're trying to get back at?
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's him after all. He had this thing where he was trying to say something and it looked like his mouth just stopped. Like it was like a halting. He said it was bigger than we knew.
He's
and-
still the one that killed you,
Yeah, well.
correct?
Yeah, I've killed a lot of people. It's only fair. Although that wasn't
Well-
real. Was it really, though? We won't get into that. The point is, that's not even the most interesting part.
Oh my god.
He said that my dreams that I'd been having were a threat to the world. I think surely
think-
he had the wrong person.
Should we try and find him for more information?
We can. He told me his name.
What's his name?
Kreider.
I pale, visibly.
Kreider.
Oh,
Alana.
You know how I mentioned Ashler's crazy ex earlier today?
You're kidding.
Mm-mm.
Shit.
I never pried and I never went into it, but I think something with the war really messed him up. And she gets really upset whenever it's brought up.
I produce a small brass amulet that is just etched with like a big old honkin' eyeball in it in the middle, and I put it on the table in the middle of the room, and this amulet has the power to find someone whose name and appearance that you know. If we're looking for this Kreider,
I don't know what he looks like. He was wearing a mask.
Do I know what he looks like? Since I'm assuming I went to their wedding, since we've...
I don't know specifically with you because I don't know how much you remember from before the war.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know how much any of you remember from before the war, so I'm going to broadly say no.
I'm gonna say it's been hazy.
Soraya, did you see him with or without his mask?
With.
You did see him for in the dark without his mask. 'Cause remember, you have his broken mask at your house,
That's
or at least
right.
a broken mask at your house.
I
Didn't see this guy for a bit.
vaguely remember. It was dark. There was a lot going on,
I was dying. That's fair.
but I mean, I saw his face.
I hesitate to even mention it, but Ashler might remember. She didn't go to Shadow during the war.
She didn't go to Shadow during the war?
No. She took refuge under another sun. So her memories might be a little more concrete, but I'm not sure. But she doesn't like to talk about him.
I was about to say, she's probably not going to want us to find her ex.
Perhaps she has a picture.
Crazy ex wants them out of their life. I wouldn't
think so.
You never know.
I don't know.
Wouldn't hurt to ask.
Not
Yeah.
even like an old yearbook or, something that has been buried, a Christmas card perhaps.
How we know the name. How, Lucas, do you know how much detail we have to know about the face?
Mechanical question, Alex.
Mhm.
Since this is an ephemera and it just kind of tells me how it works, would I know how it like specifically, like the extent of detail needed to trigger it?
First, two questions. One, what's its level? Two, what does it say about appearance?
It's level 4.
Okay.
And it lets you search for a person whose name and general appearance or nature you know and learn, and you learn their physical location.
Okay. I would say that between what you know of him by his actions and his interactions with Shade and the fact that Soraya did see him well enough to, I would say, remember the face at least a little bit, or at least remember her perception of the face, I would say that, yeah, you have enough to go on. That said, I will say, this is information that is intentionally being hidden, so this will require a roll, and it is relatively difficult.
It might be better to wait for more concrete information before we go using that.
Yes.
Agreed. The option is out there.
Besides, I don't
Fantastic.
know if going after Kreider is going to get me what I want.
And
Right,
what
Sully?
is going to get you what you want?
Find out who Kreider is working for. Find out why innocent Wiesla are dying. Find out what it is about a dream that's so powerful that someone needs to die for it.
Do you recall anything? I know you don't remember your dreams, but you recall waking up with a particular sensation. Sometimes, I wake up from a dream and, I recall it being a very happy dream, or sometimes I wake up from a dream and I'm like in a cold sweat. Do you recall the essence of the dream, even if you don't recall the contents?
Game Master?
With respect to your dream with Kreider, or your
No.
experiences when you sleep in general?
The dreams that are missing.
Oh yeah, fuck if you know. You've got no idea what you're missing.
You know about as much as I do, Soren.
Interesting. There seems to be a lot for us to puzzle on.
Well, we were all looking for leads and we got them.
More questions than answers.
More than before.
Well, it's getting late and I have a date tonight. With the ambassador.
Ew.
Don't mind me just trying to stay alive.
I cannot judge you for that.
I think unless anybody has anything particular you want to get done in probably like 45 seconds, I think we can probably wrap it up right here.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we can quickly then go through and talk about what sort of progress we've made on our arcs and talk about experience and joy and or despair gained. I'm just going to go based on what I'm seeing in the Zoom call. So Camille, how do you feel Shade did tonight?
Oh my god. I don't know. Got a lot of actually. Honestly, I'm kind of feeling a little bit of joy for Shade. Got some closure on some stuff. Had a nice dream. I think that's really what it was, is the dream that pushed it over.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. So yeah, I could definitely see you earning a joy, and I definitely think you progressed on both of your arcs.
Yeah. So how many acumen is
You
that?
absolutely. That would be 3 total.
Okay.
All right, Alana, how do you feel you did tonight?
I think I did good. I think both arcs are good. I think I initiated the second one, and there's a little fire starting. We'll put it like that. As for as for joy or despair, I feel like there were a lot of heavy topics tonight that do not bode well.
Yes.
That are very weighing heavily on the mind. So I'm gonna go with despair.
I could see that. Yeah. Quick question: how do you think you did on growth?
I think it's little steps.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
I think that like gaining a rank in Weaver, I think is like literally objective growth. So yeah, I could definitely see that now that I think about it. Quick hop. Lucas, you totally earned a despair from your interaction with Rin. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but you totally did. Mindy, how do you think Soraya did tonight?
I mean, she definitely worked towards her arc. Some more concrete stuff happening for that. And I know there was some heavy stuff, but she's pretty she's pretty focused on what she has to do, and everything that she has to do was pretty positive. She got what she needed, and she's got next steps that are very clear and succinct. So I think she probably took a joy. That would tonight.
Yeah,
maybe.
I could see that. So yeah, you definitely progressed on your arc. I would say you earned 2 acumen from that. Mare, you would earn 3 acumen from interacting with both of your arcs. Soren, how do you think you did tonight?
I think it was a good night. I think we got a lot of useful information from various different facets. I have 2 leads that I think are converging into one. And it is interesting how those leads line up with what Lucas also needs to do. So I feel, I think Soren is joyful at having a clear direction for what the next step is. And even though today's pursuits may not have given us concrete answers, they are steps in the right direction.
Yep. I definitely agree. So I definitely think you would definitely progress on your acumen. And did you mention whether you thought you earned joy or despair for tonight?
I think joy. I believe,
okay.
Just broadly speaking, even though there was heaviness, even though, there were no clear answers, there was still progress. And I think Soren is pleased with progress.
Yeah, I could see that. And Ren, how do you think Lucas did tonight?
I feel like I made minimal progress and well, maybe not minimal, but a little bit of progress in the arc. Working towards figuring out where to look. Sorry, just got dive bombed by a bug. And I think despair is the name of the game tonight, between the last scene and also seeing some of the resources at play for folks with institutes and like orders behind them.
Yeah,
never
absolutely.
a good feeling. So when you're on your own. So I'm thinking of despair.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's even one of the suggested despair for an apostate. So yeah, I could totally see that. So yeah, that's the game tonight.